Welcome back to Diagonal Move, continuing our Rifles in the Ardennes campaign series here with mission number 6, Supply Line, in which we are ambushing a convoy of trucks and we need to destroy at least 2 trucks within 10 turns, and there is the possibility that the trucks will move between turns and be removed if they reach the end of the board here on strike number 6. Now, in this scenario, we have set up on one of 3 possible places. Now, on my board here, those places could be stripes 5, 5 or 6, which I believe is a typo, and should be 4, 5 or 6, but just to prevent any incorrect interpretation of that, I'm going to place my groups on stripe number 5, and I'm going to place the larger group inside a building. There is a maximum of 4 units in any one group that can be on a terrain feature like a building. As with other games in this particular campaign series, I'm not going to go through every single rule in each video. Rather, the first video acts as a primer for most of the other videos. And so if you are unfamiliar with some of these rules and it's not obvious what I'm doing, probably worth going and having a look at that original video. But the principles are the same. We do need to roll for the squad, reinforcements and so on. Now we actually have a full squad. We have a full 10 army points worth of units and grenades. Despite using a lot of grenades last turn, we do still have enough left to count as a complement of grenades, or most of a complement of grenades. And so what we need to do is we need to roll just the 1 die. And rather than rolling for reinforcements, we're just rolling for equipment on this occasion, and we are rolling with roll of 2. We gain 1 equipment army point to spend on equipment, and I will equip my units with grenades, and we gain 6 grenades for that 1 army point, which is quite a nice number, and I can give most of my guys at least 1 grenade. Okay. The phases continue as before in the first instance with determining what your groups are going to be. You can of course have multiple groups, and I'm going to stick with the 4 and 3 groups that I've been keeping as before. One thing I have neglected to do in previous videos is make full use of my skills, or my unit skills that I've been buying at the end of each campaign, and so I've made myself a little note, and I'm going to try and feature those skills a little bit more in this video. And there could well be a few more of those actions that haven't appeared at the earlier part of the series come through now as we get to these more complex scenarios. But okay, so the first thing we need to do, turn 1, is to roll for our actions. And we have 1 bonus action point and 1 regular action point. As before, we have blue ones representing bonus actions, grey ones representing the regular actions, and these orange ones representing recon. And one of my characters, Hugo, has a skill, local contacts, which allows us to start with one of those recon points that allows us to roll for a reroll a die by spending a point. Okay, so we have those 3 actions. The first thing I think we're going to do is we're going to move. I'm going to move this smaller group up 1 stripe and reveal what I hope is a truck. And event number 6, or truck number 6 as it is a truck, and we have to roll on the patrol table, adding 2 to see how many enemy, if any, are with us in that truck. So a roll of 1 modified to 3 means we have 2 enemies on the previous stripe. Those enemies having rifles. Now when we destroy the trucks, we have to destroy their base combat factor, which is 6, as so many other things are. So their base toughness number, which is 6. They cannot attack us back, but if they do have enemies on the stripe with them. We cannot attack if the enemies are on that stripe. So we need to make sure we get to those trucks first. But I've moved. Now for my second action, first thing I'm going to do probably is to I think I will actually start as we mean to go on, and let's attack one of those trucks. Attack truck number 6. And we will use Adam, who's our leader. He does have a submachine gun, which is 3, and I will spend one of his grenades to boost that by 1, making him a base combat factor of 4. Remember, we only need to roll a 3 or more, or even 2 or more, and we will stand a chance of destroying that truck. We've rolled a 2, which means the truck is suppressed. Contrary to what happens with the tanks and armoured vehicles, trucks are not susceptible to exploding as in quite the same way. So the suppression marker will sit on the truck as per normal until we can hit it again for a second time, which I'm very much hoping will be shortly, because I will use my rifleman Craig, who has also has grenades to boost his combat. Oh no, he doesn't have a grenade. I'll just have to roll the die and hope for the best. We've got one unit without a grenade. No joy. But John, he does have grenades and he has a machine gun, which will still nevertheless give him a base of 2, and no damage to that truck. That's all of our actions. So now what we need to do is roll for the enemy, not the presence check because there are 2 enemies on the board, but we do need to roll for the enemy activation. And in this particular scenario, a roll of 2 means we will attack a target group in range, as before you rolled on an activation table. And the unit that we will attack will be the unit with the lower toughness number, as has often been the case through this campaign. The units all have the same toughness numbers, and so I will simply say that Craig is the unit with the lower toughness number. Actually, no, let's do this fairly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a roll of 6. Adam is going to be shot at. And starting with the first rifleman, roll of 5 with a 6. Now I just wonder whether or not his toughness status will change as a result of being a veteran. No, I don't believe it does. And so on a roll of 6, 5 plus the 1 for the base combat factor of the rifleman, the German rifleman, Adam is suppressed. And the second rifleman is going to attack again the unit with the lower toughness number, and we'll say that's Adam again, having taken 1 injury. He's bound to not be feeling himself. Roll of 4 plus the 1, no damage. And now we roll to see what happens with the trucks. And we will activate each event marker to determine what's going to happen with the truck in terms of movement. Okay, now if the truck is on a stripe that we are also present in and there's no enemy to support it, we will add a +1. Okay. So on a roll of 6 we move the event marker down 1 stripe. If the event marker has been revealed and there are no enemy units in the stripe, roll on the patrol table. So this one moves down a stripe, we also roll on the patrol table. which is a roll of 6, giving us an enemy rifle with a grenade and an SMG. Okay, with the truck, not so good, not so good at all. So for truck on stripe 3, for a 1, nothing will happen. Stripe number 2, event marker comes down 1 stripe. And then finally stripe number 1, event marker comes down 1 stripe. This guy here is clearly trying to make a break for it. Okay, that is the end of the turn. Don't forget I've got to destroy 2 of these things before they escape, or before the time runs out. I think it's going to be more difficult than it sounds. 3 5s means 3 regular actions. Now remember, we can't attack the trucks until the enemies are off the stripe, so trucks cannot be attacked just yet. So how are we going to do this? I think what we'll have to do is we'll activate this group here first, and we will shoot at the group here. Okay, we'll start with with Hugo, who has a submachine gun, very powerful at short range. Starts with combat factor 3. We add on the 5, and we have suppressed one of those two riflemen, and we'll suppress the rifleman with the grenade. That guy should have a submachine gun. Next up we have Fred. It's no damage. Greg is actually going to use a grenade as an area effect weapon instead of a buff to his own weapon, and what that will mean is we will roll and roll damage for both the units. Just confirming exactly how that works. Okay. So we'll attack both the units. So the first unit is 5. That's a baseline of 1. So I didn't select a unit, so we'll say the slightly stronger unit or the less suppressed unit is damaged. And then the second area effect, no damage. Finally, we have here Ed, who on a roll of 4 does no damage. Just need to take off Greg's grenade. Okay. Second action. We'll move these guys down a bit, and then we will attack, starting with Adam, who is a submachine gunner also. He's a roll of 5. However, we need to modify that 5 because of the suppression, but he's still going to be over the 6 needed to eliminate that enemy soldier. Rifleman then against the Rifleman Craig against the German submachine gun. A roll of 4. Nothing happens. Okay, and then finally John, who is a machine gunner, and he does have the ability to shoot at more than one target. However, they have to be in the same group, so it's just going to be the machine gunner, no damage. Okay, now we activate the enemies. Again, we don't roll for more enemies. We just activate those that are there because there's 3 of them. And on a roll of 6, this guy will probably attack. Yeah, go into cover first and then attack. And the unit that we will attack is going to, sorry, the group that we're going to attack is going to be the group with the machine gun, which is this group here, and then the unit within that group is going to be the one with the lower toughness number, and as Adam is suppressed, we will say he has the lower toughness, a 4, plus the German's base of 3 is 7. We have lost our leader, meaning that our assistant leader, who is Greg in this turn, over here, he is now going to be our new leader in charge of the unit of the group. This set of units here, on a roll of a 4, will go into cover. There's no enemy with no friendly to us in range, so they are in cover. Okay. Finally, the trucks, and we'll start with the truck at the bottom. On a roll of a 6, we move the event marker down 1 strike, and if there are no enemy units in that strike, we again roll on that patrol table, adding 2. That's a 4, which means we have 2 enemy rifles on the previous strike. I have a sense this is going to be a short mission. Then we move to the first of these trucks. On a roll of a 2, we move down a stripe. The second truck in that stripe. On a 3, we move down a stripe. And then on a roll of 2 for the top one, we again move down a stripe. Wow, okay. Turn number 3. Do I want to change my groupings around? I think I probably do. I think I probably want to put my assistant leader. Actually, I'm not sure I can do that because there are enemy in the stripes. Let me just double check. No, it doesn't say that you can't change the groups in terms of a in this situation where you have enemy and your own units. So we will change those groups around so that Greg joins the submachine gunner, so that we can benefit from the area effect and the fire groups, which I think we will need. So that's the grouping part done. Roll on the table. 2 6s and a 2, so the 2 is discarded as normal, and 2 bonus action points. Now we could fire the machine gun and the rifles at this truck even though it's escaping. However, we would be at a disadvantage because the fields would give the truck some cover. The other option is to move. Other things that we could do is attempt to reveal the cover on some of these enemies using the redeploy action, which I don't think I've shown yet because we've not really been in many situations requiring it. We could take cover ourselves. We could try flanking fire. We have enough points to bonus points to try flanking fire, which means we attack with a bonus. I believe it's +2, or it's a +2 against a vehicle. That might be useful. But we'd still have the cover modifier if we were to do that. So what I'll do, I will try it the original way. I will spend a bonus action point to move, which will give me a recon point also, and then I will fire. I get a +1 DRM to the fire, and let's say we'll fire with Greg first. He only has a rifle, which is a 3, plus the 1 DRM, plus the 1 baseline is only 5. I will spend a recon point to reroll that. On a 4, plus his 1, plus the bonus action buff to the roll, means we've rolled a 6. The vehicle is destroyed. It's quite good, really. Okay, we still have a unit that we can shoot with, but I think what I'll do instead is I don't have any actions. That was my last action. I can't do anything else this turn, so we move on to the enemy. Starting with this group here, who is a German submachine gunner, and on a roll of a 5, the submachine gunner will cover. He's already in cover, and then he will attack the group. He can only attack this group because of his short range weapon. But the unit he will attack is the unit with a higher combat factor. And that is going to be Hugo. But then we're in a building, so we do get a cover modifier to our toughness. So our toughness is going to be 8. So he would need to roll at least a 5. Roll a 3, so no damage to us. Second group then. Roll a 4. On a 4, we will attack the group in range, which again is this group. Now we do have an issue here where you would need to roll higher than we possibly can in order to damage our units, because we would all have a toughness of 8. These guys, the maximum they could get is 7. And in that situation, what you have to do is you have to run through a list of priorities that determine what they will do instead of attack. The first thing you'll do is automatically form a fire group, adding their combat factors together to execute a single attack, which would put their combat factor at 2. We would need to roll a 6 in order to damage anybody. Okay, so we're going to try and attack Hugo, I believe it was, with a single die roll for both soldiers. Roll of a 5 plus the 2. Combat factor is a 7, so there's still no damage against our guys. The units at the top here are currently in cover. On a roll of 2, we'll stay hidden in cover. So moving on to the vehicles. This one will move first. Roll of 6, we move a stripe, and we are not revealed, so we don't need to reveal any more enemies, but we do have another vehicle that little bit closer to where we were, to where they need to be, rather. On the roll of a 4, this one will move, I think. Yes, this one also moves down a stripe. And finally the third one will move down a stripe. Currently we cannot shoot at these two because we have a bunch of units here in the way. So what we might have to try and do, I only have to destroy one more to effectively win the game. So I think we'll go all out and try and take out that truck. But of course that's going to depend on, that's very much going to depend on how we do on our die roll and so on. So anyway, next turn 4, groups will stay the same. We have 2 actions, 2 regular actions, and I think that first action is going to be to break out of the cover here. Perhaps not the best idea, and reveal this unit here. Now nothing happens, and we actually remove the marker. So unlike in other games where you automatically remove the marker, you only remove the marker if you're instructed to do so, which we have been here, because of course they do represent the enemy trucks. And basically we've been chasing shadows, so that was a disastrous turn of events for us. And what we're going to have to do then is we will fire with these guys here. using Greg's newfound leadership role to use the fire group ability so that we have a 2. No, actually, rather than a fire group ability, we'll use the area effect, which will get a +1 die roll, and we will shoot at these 2 units here. So the first unit will be suppressed, and the second unit will not be suppressed. So that's not too bad. And then we will simply fire at that suppressed unit with Craig, who does kill the unit. Fantastic. Greg cannot fire himself because he spent the turn for directing the fire of the others. Okay, so activating first the enemy units, beginning with this guy. On a roll of a 4, the enemy soldier will attack, and the group that will attack, because we have both groups are in range, will be the smaller group. They are the same. So what I'll say is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So attacking here. And on a roll of a 1, we will attack the unit with the lower toughness number. As before, we do not have a higher toughness number or a lower toughness number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Attacking the machine gunner. But does no damage. This group. On a roll of a 2, we'll attack. Nobody's in range. Okay, so if they're not in range, they will just simply stay in cover. The final group up the top here, on a roll of a 2, will attack if the enemy are in range. We are in range. We're not on a building or anything, so both those riflemen will shoot at my group here. On a roll of a 4, we will attack the units with the lower toughness number. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're attacking Fred. No damage. No damage. Not doing too badly, but now we need to determine what's going on with these trucks. On a roll of a 3, the truck simply moves down a stripe, being revealed. And on a 2, nothing special happens, simply a truck. And then finally, this truck here, on a roll of a 1, the truck stays where it is. Okay, turn number 5. Group's the same. We can now at least attack that truck. Just the one bonus action, I will spend a recon point to re-roll one of those, gaining another bonus action. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so we have John, a machine gunner, Craig, a rifleman who's a sharpshooter, which is good for targets at range. Greg, who can remove suppression. None of which is particularly helpful, except we could. We'll fire. Greg is a veteran, so he has a +1. We've also spent the bonus action point, so we have another +1, so that's going to be +2 against the vehicle. It's a baseline of 5. So we really just need to roll the die, and we've hit the truck for the first time. The machine gunner now one attack, no damage. I cannot spend a bonus point. Even though it's an area weapon, there's only one target in the group. So we move on to Charles. Now Craig. Charles was our previous rifleman. Craig does not have grenades. That's unfortunate. an oversight there on the quartermaster. No damage again. Okay, not so good at all. Rifleman on the enemy side, starting with the one with H. A roll of 5 will advance and then attack. And he's going to attack toughness number base again. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's attacking Greg, the leader. No damage. This group will rally because the unit is suppressed. So on a roll of 3 or more, no, it stays suppressed. I think that's how that works. But we still do a recovery attempt. Finally, this group. On a roll of 1, they will attack the nearest group, which is here. On a roll of 5, we will attack the higher combat factor, which is going to be Hugo. He's got a machine gun, he's suppressed, and the second shot does no damage, so Hugo is suppressed. Now rolling for the trucks. First truck, roll of a 6, moves off the board. And second truck, a roll of a 5 moves. We reveal it's simply a truck with no other effect. So we are now on this turn number 6. We have 1 truck remaining, 1 truck left to kill to win the mission. We need to remove this person first, and then 2 hits on that truck. It's going to be interesting, but let's try. 3 actions, 2 of which are bonus actions. Okay. A roll of 5. He has suppressed that unit. The rifleman Craig. And a roll of a 6. Removes. Now we have John. 1 attack on him. We will use a grenade, but first we have to pass a morale check to use a grenade. Or is that just tanks? No, just tanks for morale. Only require morale checks before you attack them. Okay, so regular attack with the +1. No damage. Okay. What we can do is we can move, and then we can try and shoot and destroy the truck at a distance. No, I don't think we can do that because we need to have the +1 to hit due to the field cover at range. So I believe that is the game over, or the mission virtually over. Let's just roll to see what the German soldiers do, starting with this one. I'll just use my final action actually, just to go into cover to prevent too much damage. Hugo, of course, being suppressed. So this group, on a roll of 1, will rally due to the suppression and will successfully rally. This group up here. on a roll of a 3 will go into cover, already in cover, and finally the truck then on a roll of a 4 the truck has escaped. The mission is a bust. Okay, end of campaign tidy up. We need to roll a die, which is a 3, and that is the number of experience points available to us. We do deduct 1 for losing the last mission, which is frustrating because that's now 3 missions lost and 3 missions won out of a total of 6, so 50% success rate. Total of 4 points to spend with the previous, only 3 experience points to spend on our units. Okay. Do we upgrade somebody to a veteran, or do we not? Let's upgrade John to a veteran. That'll be 2 of our 3 experience points, and he has been through a lot as our machine gunner John. That's all the points that we can spend. Adam, of course, was eliminated during that game, and we need to roll to determine the status of Adam's health, which is a roll of a 5, so he's wounded. So okay, so he will live to fight another day, but it won't be during the next mission. Confess, I cannot remember whether Greg was a rifleman or a submachine gunner. The tokens are double-sided, and I can't recall which side it was on. I think I probably actually played it both ways during that game. Not that it made a huge difference to the outcome, but yeah, apologies if that did happen. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. These missions do get more challenging as time goes by in the Rifles in the Ardennes series. Of course, you don't have to play them as a campaign. You can just start out at mission 6 or mission 7 should you have chosen to do so, and you could have, maybe bought yourself a few mortars or heavy machine guns or something, but part of the campaign you have to work your way up to that, and sadly just haven't. So on that note, time to say goodbye, and I'll see you next time.